here only because you were aiding others.
The original Watchers, too, were selfish. They wanted the knowledge for its own sake, not as a tool to be used. And that attitude triggered the virus.
Uh-oh, the beacon's getting ready to guide us someplace. But where?
Seems to me there's only one way to find out. Shall we go?
Peace, now's the vibrate. Main things that you should work on as a soul. Of course, you know, I'm never telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't. Speaking from a place of experience and research, you know, intuitive insights, you know, take what leave. Excuse me, take what resonate, leave what don't take what leave. But the main keys is development of your own intuition, so you don't have to keep depending on, you know, videos that I make or somebody else make. You know, I mean, it could become a form of healthy entertainment. Not that we sitting here doing this for entertainment, but, you know, some of us could just find it pleasing to listen about, you know, esoteric knowledge and concepts. But development of your intuition, 1. 2 is understanding your karma and how to transmute / remove the repetition and repeating of the same karmic cycles, aka what I like to call lesson loops. But karmic cycles will be a lesson loop on a macrocosmic scale, you know. So how I speak on lesson loops within your day to day, you know what I'm saying? This is a lesson loop that, you know, basically show up for lifetimes in essence, you know what I'm saying, but which are one and the same, because your small lesson loops in essence occur due to, you know, traumas related to karmic situations in your past life. So the main 2 things, development of your intuition and transmuting, first understanding your karmic cycles and transmuting them in connection with astrology. You know, your Saturn placement may give awareness to, you know, your karmic cycles. What else? I had this right here in my tablet with me. Give me 1 second, because I do have this written down. And I want to share since I got it right here. But as I'm looking for this, again, main 2 things, and especially with development of your intuition, because what I notice is how much I've been healing certain, you know, traumas, certain, you know, things from past lives I've been healing just from just being intuitively clear. So what I would also say is, like, you know, again, doing certain practices that would help for you to tune into your intuition more, you know what I'm saying? Hence why a lot of focus be on meditation, because the more clear you are, you know, and you just kind of allow for your ego to get out of the way. Not saying the ego bad, but allowing for it to not be in a driver's seat and get out of the way of the intuition, then the more your actions will align with, you know, what's best for you. Because I realize how much, you know, I've been, you know, healing traumas in relation to my Chiron placement. That's another placement, you know, dealing with past life healing. But I realized how much I've been healing those traumas without, like, before even knowing about my natal chart and how important these things were. I've been doing things associated, you know, with healing these areas, you know what I'm saying? And with, bringing it into astrology a little bit, this is also connected to your body as well. So, where your Chiron placement is or your Saturn placement is, again, it's in a certain astrological sign, zodiac archetype that would deal with, that's going to deal with a certain body part as well. So let's see. I know it's somewhere right here. Maybe I wasn't meant to go that in depth into it, so I'll just fall back until I find. I did a video on it too, so. But again, main two things: development of your intuition and understanding your karmic cycles. All the other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, we may want to, help melanated people and indigenous people. Of course, we may want to, save the dolphins. Of course, you may want to, do all these different things in your experience. But the main things as a soul, because one of the aspects, again, is the key. The key is to understand, how karma works, and understanding how karma in your experience, as a soul has affected you, how cause and effect has affected you, and why you are here, and what karmic cycles you need to, transmute and, in essence, remove, for your soul, and in essence, to clear out things for, your descendants, if you are having physical children. Because that's something that's not talked about, again, there's so much, videos on all kind of stuff, about spirituality and, religious perspectives and what you should or shouldn't be doing, things of this nature. And again, that's why I'm like, I'm not telling you what to do, but just sharing, realizing how important these things have been. And again, realizing the connection of because my intuition has been developed, I've ended up aligning with actions that are helpful to transmuting and removing karmic cycles, you know what I'm saying? Without having to, again, dive so deep into what other people are talking about or saying, in that essence of it, might just, again, you get that little kickstart from maybe a video or a book or something like that. But then, again, aligning with your intuition, then you're on point. Somewhat similar to the fact of with children who are homeschooled compared to those in the school system, and a homeschool child being taught how to read. But once they're taught how to read and in essence possibly do math, but let's just say just taught how to read simply, read and comprehend, homeschool children end up being very smart and intelligent, because, they're not forced to pick up on certain, subject matters in school and stuff like that, like how the school indoctrinates certain things that they want you to learn. A child that could read, a child that's homeschooled and not, indoctrinated in that sense of it. Once they learn how to read, they read whatever they find value in, and whatever they, align with and what's best for them. And they end up being, in essence, smarter, not just book smart, intelligent, being able to repeat things out of a book, but in essence, having a better understanding about these things due to, just being able to read on their own. And I compare that again to once you learn how to be intuitive on your own, once you learn how to develop your intuition. Hence why that is one of my main focus is sharing, again, practical application on tapping in with your intuition, But main two things, development of intuition and understanding karma in general, aka cause and effect in general, and understanding what that means for you as a soul. And again, you could tap in with your astrology chart, to see, how that plays out for you and how it has played out for you. And as I bring up, understanding your karma and past lives, this doesn't mean to just find out about your past lives. I spoke about this too. Find out about your past lives just to find out about it and be like, I was a carpenter in my last, when I was 33 years old. All right, here we go. I knew I was going to find it. So before I go, astrology alignments that may point to, certain connections with understanding your karma and past lives and your current mission. Because again, now is the vibrate. You transmute your past and create your future. Or, you heal past wounds and prevent yourself from creating them in the future in this now moment. But your Chiron placement would, be very important with pointing out, things. And again, I'm not going to go into depth, because I done spoken this in other videos and you can research for yourself. But the Chiron, the glyph is shaped like a key because it is a key to, healing, and again, it's connected to past life traumas and past life wounds. Chiron known as the wounded healer. So one of the main things you want to do is heal certain wounds, because that's also tied to, triggers. And when you have certain triggers that you don't know of, certain wounds you don't know of, but in the case of triggers, then, your outside environment would, basically almost control you if you're not aware of your triggers, because somebody could just say or do something that just trigger you into a reactive action, instead of you responding, with awareness. You would just be reacting the same way you used to. And speaking of reaction, and reaction being connected to habit or habitual nature, also looking at your moon placement or your moon sign, because your moon is connected to emotions and your subconscious. Your subconscious reflects memories of previous programming. It reflects, again, your subconscious rules over 99% of what you do. And it's also connected into your intuition. And with the moon energy, your emotions and emotional attachment and subconscious programming could be the reason for reincarnating. So in order to, prevent, these habitual reactions to keep continuing, understanding your moon sign. Also understanding your Pluto placement, which is a little more collective, because Pluto could be in the same area for a whole generation of people, You know what I'm saying? Like over a 15-year span, everybody may have, for instance, Pluto and Scorpio. But anyway, your Pluto placement, because that deals with in-depth transformation. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, your Saturn placement, because, you know, obviously we're talking about cause and effect and karma, you know, then you would want to know, you know, whether the Lord of karma, you know, you would want to know where the Lord of karma is placed at in your astrological chart. Excuse that loud noise just now. But yeah, you would want to know where Saturn at, because that you know, shows karmic connections in areas where it's necessary for you to discipline yourself in connection with, you know, certain karmic cycles. And then also, this somewhat connecting to the moon or the moon sign, but the nodes of the moon. So knowing what's your north node and south node, because your north node points to the area that, you know, let's start from the south node. The south node is the area that you're used to in past lives. Your south node is the area that is the area that you're, like, basically, in essence, your comfort zone. Like, say, for instance, south node in Capricorn, like, you're used to dealing with, you know, your career, you're used to dealing with, you know, climbing that mountain for status, you're used to, you know, doing business, you're used to, you know, trying to think of different examples, but you get the picture. Not trying to, but that's things you're used to with your south node. Your north node is the things that aren't in your comfort zone, that's meant to, you know, propel you forward, because it's a new learning experience. You know what I'm saying? You're used to dealing with the Capricorn energy. And again, like when we, you know, think about growth, you know, growth is constantly moving and changing. So, and growth is not in our comfort zones. You know what I'm saying? Our comfort zones, you know, again, is places where we go to, you know, in essence, that prevents growth, you know what I'm saying, compared to going into the spaces that we're not comfortable in because it's new, and it creates, or, you know, is a catalyst for growth. So understanding your north node and south node, you know, and again, in the example, again, opposing, and say opposing, but, you know, the polarity of the zodiac sign. So the polarity to Capricorn is Cancer, the Cancer energy. So that would be the new space, learning how to develop your home. Because also Capricorns, you probably, you know, used to being cold, you know, when it comes to emotions. Not to say that Capricorns don't have emotions or lack the capability of connecting with their emotions, but, you know, compared to the water sign of Cancer, you know what I'm saying? Like that may be a new, that's in essence, a new space for you, you know, in this example. So that's the Chiron placement, North and South node placements, Saturn placement, Pluto placement, Moon placement, and what would also kind of give you a great idea, you know, with just, you know, how to move and maneuver in this lifetime is looking at the Lord of your first house in your natal chart. And the Lord of your first house is the ruler of the zodiac archetype position in your first house. So if you have Aries in your first house, then the Lord of the first house is Mars. If you have Gemini in your first house, the Lord of the first house is Mercury, you know, and so the Lord of the first house, in essence, has influence overall over your natal chart. And in essence, has like an underlining influence of your life in this lifetime. So, tapping in with understanding the Lord of the first house would be very key as well. But I'll go in depth into a lot of these things on another occasion. And I have done videos speaking on it. I got a video on karma, like different types of karma, and it should be on a playlist as well. But, just simply put, strengthening your intuition and understanding your karmic cycles, what I'm saying, is the main keys. All the other shit, to some extent, not saying that all other things are distractions, but, these are very key factors, in connection with your soul, with your spirit, but, with your soul being the no thing on the human experience. So now is the vibrate. Y'all know what it is. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now. Peace.